Hello, that's Greg.
We've made it. Day 4.
Woo! I'm Jason. This is Tea and Toast, and today we're talking about 40 years of the Sony Walkman. This year, Greg, the Sony Walkman turns 40 years old. Now, Walkman is actually become one of those brand names that is used generically, isn't it? Like Hoover. Everyone calls their vacuum cleaner a Hoover. Everyone calls their personal stereo a Walkman. But Walkman was a specific Sony brand.
Was it?
Yeah.
That's interesting. No, it is. I'm in that. I didn't know that. I thought like the Philips Walkman.
No, it's not a Walkman.
Like the Panasonic Walkman. I thought it was just. So it's only Sony that came up with the name Walkman.
Yes, and they were the first to bring out a commercially available portable cassette player, which they called Walkman.
They really are the dogs, aren't they?
Yes.
Sony.
1979.
Did you hear that note right there?
Yeah. It's your phone, isn't it?
It is, yeah. You know, before we do this, Jason, can you have your phone on silent, please? Oh, your brother's ringing you as well.
Oh, this is going well, isn't it? 1979, the Sony Walkman came out. Before that, however, in 1977, there was a patented personal stereo called the Stereo Belt, which it was devised by a West German Brazilian called Andreas Pavel in 1977.
Stereo Belt?
He attempted to commercialise his design but failed to do so. So it was only 2 years later that the might of Sony bought their own version and commercialised it, and we all know what happened after that. Many, many, many imitations followed.
Here's a quick quiz for everybody. What would you have called it? Because Stereo Belt is actually more to the point of what it is, isn't it? A Walkman? What's a Walkman? What's that? You know, I'm going to go with something like music in your ears while walking, man.
I mean, that's really catchy, Greg. I think you'd have sold a lot.
Go around that, Will. What's your problem?
You. Anyway, Sony were the first.
Sony?
Many followed, and there isn't an 80s or 90s kid out there that didn't own or long for a Walkman or personal stereo. I
had them all.
Of course you did, Greg, and I bet you had Sony, didn't you?
Oh, I'll show you the one I had in a minute.
Well, I didn't have Sony.
Oh, Alba.
Well, we'll get to mine.
All right.
But many imitations followed. For example, Sanyo started to bring out their own range.
They were a big name, weren't they, at that point?
This one's got a 3-band graphic equaliser.
Oh, they were brilliant because they did nothing. But they made the thing look so expensive. Can I just say something, Jason?
Yeah.
One of my only normal jobs in life, if anyone knows what I do, because there's a couple of people that know what we do. Well, the only thing I've ever done really normal was a postman, and I did it for 6 weeks, if that. And I had to deliver with one of these on my belt every day, and I used to have the ones with the graphic equalisers on, these knobs here, and they used to just get knocked like that. Oh, it used to frustrate me so much because the bass would really drop.
It wouldn't, would it?
Not at all.
I used to use my Walkman when I did my paper round.
And you see this here, Jason?
Yeah, I know.
That does everything now. That does not just everything. That does everything. That you know when a song came out, Jason. You know when a song came out, what did you have to do? Go and buy it, record it, put it on the tape. Now, if I was doing a post round or whatever,
you just download it.
I'd just click.
Iowa, another brand who went into personal stereos. This one has also got a 3-band graphic equaliser and an FM AM radio.
Ooh.
Built in.
That's getting a bit more, isn't it?
Yeah, and this was a feature that came along that sort of revolutionised my listening experience. Auto reverse. So when it got to the end of the tape, you didn't even have to turn it over.
Oh yeah.
And played the other side.
Brilliant.
Amazing.
I wonder who was the first to do that then?
Goodman's, Greg. Another
Who
brand.
cares? I mean, why am I here?
Why are you here?
Goodman's, yes.
This one, Greg. You didn't even have to put headphones in because it's got a little speaker on the back.
Well, I'm going to tell you something, Jason.
What?
I had that one.
Did you?
That exact one. I didn't know you had that one in the collection.
With an aerial?
Yeah, I had that one. Yeah. That's unbelievable. That there is... That's so many memories for me, that is. I had that. Wow.
Philips Skymaster 5.
Oh, look at the size of that.
I mean, this is a pretty basic one. There's no auto reverse, no graphic equalizer, no radio, just play, fast forward and stop. And you would never want to fast forward or rewind, would you? Because it used your batteries up loads.
God, I really had that one, you know.
Do you know what my biggest memory of a personal stereo is? Is when the batteries were going.
Ooh.
And it started to sound like they got really deep voice.
Voice of
And then when your batteries did go, it would often chew the tape up because it wasn't running fast enough.
And then
you'd have to get your pen out and wind it back up, and it never quite played the same again, did it?
It never quite played the same again.
It'd go, name an 80s song. You know, I'm never gonna dance again. Guilty feet of no rhythm.
It's so true. It really is brilliant.
So all of these copied the original Sony Walkman, but what Sony did was they kept innovating, didn't they? And they kept bringing out better versions of what they did. And they brought out this version that was wildly popular, Greg.
Oh.
The waterproof Sony Walkman sports version.
All they needed to do was put sport on it, make the buttons chunky, and paint it yellow.
And make it waterproof.
I mean, that's it. Yeah, but it was never waterproof, was it? There was no way that's what. Who's gonna? Yeah, but who's gonna? You don't listen to it underwater.
You're not gonna go swimming with it, are you?
But look at the difference. Which stands out between all them? There you go. Well, Sony are the brand.
And Sony went on to then develop the phones, the digital Sony Walkmans, and their phones. I think they were one of the first to incorporate music players in their phones, weren't they? Before Apple and before all those people.
What's the battery doing there?
That's where you put the battery, so it's waterproof, Greg.
Do you know I'm going to shock you something here, Jason?
Go on then.
I never had this one.
What?
No. Do you remember how much these were in the catalogues? You always used to go down the line, didn't you? Oh, that one's like £4. That was at Sony, 80 quid.
Yeah, I know.
It's just so much money. The minute you saw Sony on it.
I'm going to pop in a page of the Argos catalogue.
Yeah, love
personal
that.
stereos page, and see if you can spot any prices on there. But
great days.
I couldn't afford, or my parents couldn't afford any of these ones when I was younger. So I had this actual one here, the Alba.
It was Alba as well.
CP29.
I was only joking when I said Alba.
Look at that bad boy, Greg. It's got a radio and everything. And look at those headphones. You don't get them like that anymore, do you?
You see, this is where Sony got it right. They came up with them headphones, didn't they?
Yeah.
Whereas they were the cheap ones.
And those Sony headphones sell for loads of money on their own. Little ones that go in your ear.
Jason, is that what you really had?
Yeah. In fact, before that, I think I had one without a radio on it.
No, it's supposed to do that, mate. No, it's supposed to do that.
That's my actual one, Greg.
It's not, is it? This is the one you used?
Yeah.
It's in immaculate condition, Jason. Are you a geek?
No.
Can you hear me with any phone? It's snapped, Jason.
Greg.
It's actually snapped.
I've had that since 1987.
Well, I suggest you go and buy a new one. In fact, yeah, mate. Upgrade.
Have a Sony. Oh, Greg, you've ruined my shop.
Oh, look at that. You've got the box. Digital. I mean, digital must have been a million miles away when they were doing this.
The Sony Alba stereo cassette player with radio.
This has got FF, play, stop function. Oh, no rewind. You knew it was a cheap one when you didn't get a rewind on it. Auto stop function. Duracell batteries are recommended. Batteries not included. That's clever, that. Oh, I love that.
That's my actual one, mate.
Well, I think that's brilliant. That was the one I had, and I never had that one.
Here.
Mine had the graphic. That's so many memories there, that is. Oh, no, look at the size. How did you carry that around?
Here is an advert for the original Sony Walkman.
You really feel the music with the Sony Walkman.
The Sony Walkman is a tiny stereo cassette player with truly incredible sound.
You really feel the music. You really feel the music.
Put on a Walkman and see the world in a whole new light.
Sony Walkman.
The Walkman from Sony, the one and only.
Great memories, Jason.
Great memories. Congratulations, Sony, on the 40th anniversary of the Walkman.
You can't believe how much we've moved on, can you?
No.
We was talking before, well, during rehearsal. Your phone does not just this; it does everything, and it sounds better. I mean, I've just moved house, as you know, and Jason, bless him, has been coming around every day to fix lights and everything because I'm totally useless. And we were fixing the lights. Well, he was fixing the light upstairs, and the music was on downstairs. And I was just skipping the tracks on my phone, and we were saying, look.
This is going to annoy anyone now if they're watching this on their TV and they've got a device nearby, but all you have to say is, Alexa, play Shaking Stevens.
You've just ruined everybody's morning or afternoon when watching this.
This whole house has just come on everyone's Alexa now.
This is a great game, Jason. We could sit here for hours doing this. Why don't we start throwing them in now and again when no one's expecting it?
I don't know if it actually works anymore. Did they bring out an update?
Do it now and shout it really loud. Try it this time so it's all quiet and then we'll do it. Brace yourself. Alexa's turn them on. Get ready.
Alexa, play Shaking Stevens. Please tell us if that made your Alexa work and play Shaking Stevens.
See, there another thing that's amazed me. I've got them. I've got the Google one as well, but I haven't been able to use them yet because we haven't got Wi-Fi and everything. But how you can say it and then it plays when you have to rewind for 2 hours trying to find the one song on here?
Yeah, and I know that we're finishing this little segment.
Sorry, I went on the
However, let's talk about music piracy. These kids today think that they invented it, didn't they? Downloading tracks illegally. Long before Napster and LimeWire, which themselves are now quite retro. Oh, my phone appears to keep my iPad.
What's Napster?
No, never mind, Greg. Long before them, we were stealing music off the radio. Play and record. Just before Bruno Brooks started, are you allowed to mention him?
I think so, yeah, he's alright.
Yeah. Just before Bruno Brooks started talking over the top of it, you pressed pause, didn't you?
I don't think it's something you should be proud of, sitting here saying you did piracy and you were the first one to do it.
We all did it, Greg. And computer games. As soon as those twin cassette players came out, that's it. We were copying those specky games.
Great days.
Taking them back to the shop and saying it didn't work, although we'd all copied it. And we're going to get arrested now for privacy. Is there any statute of limitations on piracy?
Well, if I knew what you just said, I'd answer, but I don't understand what you just said, so...
That's it for today. Thanks for watching. We will be back again tomorrow in the same clothes.
Yes!
We'll see you then. Thanks. Bye.